Hey there, BookTube. Noah. The mid-year book Freakout tag is on. Happy Tag Tuesday, everybody. The weather here has been freaking out quite a bit. We've been getting thunderstorms coming through for the last hour. I was set, and to record, and the lights keep going in and out. So I think we're on the other side of it. I think this one will be cool. So let's get to it. I was tagged by Karen Evans. Thank you, Karen, very much for tagging me. And I've seen everybody doing this. So I don't know if I'm going to tag anybody. If you've seen this and you haven't done it, and you've read, quite a bit this year so far, and you want to do it, please do it. It's a great tag to share what it is that you've read and what it is that you've really enjoyed, so that everybody can get that just in one tag video. Watching these videos has been really fun and gotten a lot of good ideas for whatever. I'm gonna skip a couple of the prompts that don't really pertain to my reading so far this year, and we'll cross those when we come to it, but I'll make up for it on the back end. All right, so stick with me, and it's gonna be really cool. All right, number one, the best book so far, and this won't come as a surprise for anybody who's read this book, but my favorite so far this year is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. What an amazing book. Amazing characters, amazing story, plot, the scenes, everything. It's so well told. It's like experiencing, Romeo and Juliet for the first time. Something amazing that is going to stick with you. Even side characters are wonderful and have a lot of depth to them. And so I recommend it to anybody. I'll recommend this for the rest of my life to people to read. This is the kind of thing that makes you glad that you're a reader. This book right here makes you glad that you're a reader, because if you're not a reader, you don't know. What a beautiful book. I'm so happy that I've gotten more Tolstoy this year. It was one of my goals for 2020 to get into Tolstoy more and more, and we've done a good job with it. So number two, I'm gonna skip best sequel. I haven't read a sequel yet this year. Number three, new release that I want to read, and number four, most anticipated release. So a new release that I do want to read is by a new author to me as well, named Rick Harsh. He's a great guy. He's really, really funny. He's definitely very eccentric, and he wrote an epic, fat postmodern work called The Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas. And I don't have it to show because Rick sent it from Slovenia to me on a rowboat. So it's been in transit for a long time. But I can show you another Rick Harsh. This is the Driftless Zone. This was I think his first book, if not one of his first. And so we'll have a little picture right there. Rick Harsh is the man. He's funny. He's got YouTube. I don't recommend his videos. He's got an Instagram, and I don't recommend, kind of following his Instagram. But I do recommend reading the guy. And I'm looking forward to it. I love fat, encyclopedic, postmodern works. I love that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. He's compared to all the right guys. Hunter S. Thompson, Thomas Pynchon, Quentin Tarantino. Bring it on, right? So that's my deal. Number five, biggest disappointment. Now this is actually sad for me to say, because I wanted to enjoy this book, and I did it actually as a buddy read between me and Timmy over at Lost Cunningham. That's his channel. Me and Timmy read the Birth of the People's Republic of Antarctica, and this is a kind of this guy. I don't know who he is, but he's touted, like on the back. Tom Robbins has a blurb here. He's in one of the blurbs he's compared to Vonnegut and Pynchon, John Gardner, and I just tell you though, this book really, really, really is lacking all across the board. So many things just don't really hold up. There's not really a lot of plot. Ex Machina is off the charts in this book. It's just ridiculous. I couldn't enjoy it. It's something that I just, I wanted to like. I gave it a good try. Went all the way through it, and it just wasn't up to snuff. The biggest surprise. So number 6 is the biggest surprise, and number 7 is new favorite author. And I'm actually going to combine those because the biggest surprise to me was coming into contact with this author and reading this book, and this is actually my newest favorite author of 2020, and it's Clarice Lispector. My biggest surprise is The Passion According to G.H. right here. What an amazing work! I tell you, you're not ready. You can't anticipate this book. You can't anticipate Clarice Lispector, and so it is definitely a surprising work. And I'll put a link to my review of The Passion According to G.H. It's no spoilers, but I can't do it justice just in a couple of lines. But please check it out. It's an amazing work. And I went ahead and grabbed her the complete short stories of Clarice Lispector just to show as well, because Clarice Lispector is a master. And these short stories, even just in this really succinct little storytelling mode, she is able to do things. She's a magician with words. It's amazing that I didn't know of her before. I am super happy to have found Clarice Lispector, and she is definitely my favorite new author. I mean, hands down, for sure. My new fictional crush. Now, I couldn't think of a new fictional crush. When it comes down to it, I don't read much that has a lot of romantic interest or romance to it, things like that. If I had, and what did kind of come to mind is Elizabeth from Pride and Prejudice, but I started that in July, so it's not a first part of the year read. So I'm just gonna kind of skip that one. Kind of a headstrong. It'd be a headstrong. A strong female that has a lot. That thinks. Is a real emotional, but also mind oriented too. I that kind of thing. But whatever. Number 9. My new favorite character. So when I was thinking about, what character did I just really love? And that character that I really love from, my reading of the first part of the year is Martin from the story Where Love Is, God Is. Me and Codex Cantina and I are doing a short story Tolstoy series, one a month. And we did Where Love Is, God Is. You'll find that on my playlist as well. Just our little going through that. And Martin in that is just a very humble, very resourceful individual. Just does what's right, does it because it's right, and doesn't require anybody to acknowledge it. Doesn't care. Is not in it for anything like that. Just lives his life and does his thing. And in the story, when he got into where he was just really self-reflective and doing inner work, I really resonate with Martin. I think that he's a really good guy. I liked him. He's one of my favorite characters of the first reading of the year. So number 10 is a book that made you cry. Now, not many books make me cry. If something even makes me sad, what it'll be is I'll read it and I'll read through it. And then upon reflection, I will get emotionally involved and get emotionally caught up in that story. So most of the time when I'm reading, I'm not emotionally like in it while I'm reading. It requires me to stop, get done reading, and then later that day, that evening, or the next day when I'm just like, at work and I'm just kind of thinking through what I've read, when I reflect on it, that's when I will get emotionally in a character or in a plot. So, but there is a work that did make me tear up, and it was my readings that I was doing and still doing for the Amplify Voices tags. I'm just doing it as a series. I'm gonna do this kind of thing, ongoing, because why not? So, for that, it is Call to Conscience by Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is love correcting everything which stands against love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so when I was reading, reading through some of his speeches and his excerpts from his letters, a couple of his letters are in here. When I was reading it, I really really was affected in the reading, and I think it's because that's not a narrative thing. When I'm reading a fiction work and I'm in a narrative, I don't get caught up in that kind of thing. But this was actual just speaking, like somebody speaking directly to me when I was reading it, or speaking to a group of people as a leader, and I was able to just enter into that. So a book that made me happy, a book that always I've gotten into doing a read along of this book with Christy Lewis at Dostoevsky in Space, and Ami at Ivan's Nightmare is in on it, and Una is actually just lurking, and from Codet's Cantina, Una's just lurking and kind of along for the ride, seeing what we do. But a book that makes me happy is the White Lotus Sutra. In this translation, it's called the Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the Wonderful Law. This is a Buddhist sutra, and you'll see. I just posted a video that is an exploration of this. This is a Buddhist sutra, and it is one of the most amazing spiritual visions that has ever been revealed to mankind. So it's beautiful, it's awesome, it's all parable, it all speaks to the imagination, and it's something that always just leaves me in a very happy spot. Utopian. Number 12, the most beautiful book that I read so far this year. So the most beautiful, or really the most beautifully written, one of the most beautifully written, if not the most beautifully written book so far for me this year is Stoner by John Williams. This book is beautiful and so well written. You just can't you can't go wrong with Stoner. And I have a review of this one. It was actually my first read of the year. I started off really strong with this one, and I can really actually just open on any page and just start reading. The language is so beautiful, so beautiful. John Williams just has an amazing way with words. So, Stoner by John Williams, y'all. Beautiful, most beautiful book this year. And then number 13, what books do you want to read by the end of the year? So, like I touched on a second ago, I'm in the middle of the first Hyperion book, just Hyperion. After that, this volume right here has the first two books. After that, I'm going to go ahead and read The Fall of Hyperion, And then there's 2 more books, Endymion and The Fall of Endymion. And both of those, I want to read all 4 of those by the end of the year. I want to finish the Hyperion Canto. I want to read it all before the end of the year. I'll probably just read through it. Another thing that has been on my TBR pretty much the entire year, and I haven't picked it up and cracked it yet, is Perdido Street Station. So, China Mieville, this is a weird fiction, fantasy, sci-fi kind of deal, and I am looking forward to it. I've heard amazing things. I just have not made the time and made it a priority yet to read this one, but I want to get it done. I definitely want to commit to having it read before the end of the year. Looks awesome, sounds awesome, everything about it is awesome. And then the only other one I want to put on and commit to that kind of thing, because it's a chunker that I want to commit to reading by the end of the year, is Foucault's Pendulum. Jason at Byways and Bookland is doing a read through of this right here, and I didn't get on board with it because I'm reading other stuff right now, but I am going along with his videos just because the subject matter is right up my alley. You know, Kabbalah, mystery, you know, esoteric Western tradition, and everything else. You know, I mean, he touches on things like, you know, popular culture, and, you know, even to things like, you know, nursery rhymes and things like that. They're all in here. He says it's just so much, all intertwined, all in and what it is actually is like a mystery story. The narrative that's going on is like a mystery. So it just seems like such a fun ride, and I can't wait to get to it. So that's the end of the tag, and I wanted to go ahead and do something a little different on my channel. I've never done this before, so hopefully this is well received. I want to do a giveaway because I actually went to the store. I went to a thrift store, and I found a copy of Stoner by John Williams. And I thought, you know, somebody coming into Goodwill, they're not going to know what they're looking at too much, you know. But I know these booktubers are going to know. So if you want a copy of Stoner by John Williams, then all you have to do is comment on my Stoner review. If you can see it in my take on my reviews, comment on my video, and then on my about page there is my email. You know, my email is right there on my about page, and send me an email, and we'll just hit back and forth a little bit. You send me your address, and I'll send you Stoner by John Williams. And then if you have never come in contact with it, I actually found another copy of this book, and I own it already. The Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. So this is an amazing book. Viktor Frankl survived a Nazi concentration camp, and this is his story of finding a way to survive within himself. Man's Search for Meaning. So I got a better, you know, a better copy of this. This was the copy that I had for years. Just a little reading copy. If you go to my about page and you go to my email and email me and say, I want to grab that copy of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, then I'll go ahead and send that to you. So I'm giving away 2 books, and I hope they just go to some good booktubers that want to read some very wonderful stuff. So email me, and then we'll make it happen. Thank you, BookTube, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.